Book 47, Gifts. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, O Muslim women, none of you should look down upon the gift sent by her she-neighbor even if it were the trotters of the sheep, fleshless part of legs. Narrated Aisha said to me, O my nephew, we used to see the crescent, and then the crescent and then the crescent. In this way we saw 3 crescents in 2 months, and no fire, for cooking, used to be made in the houses of Allah's Apostle. I said, O my aunt, then what used to sustain you? Aisha said, the 2 black things, dates and water. Our neighbors from Ansar had some men whom they used to present Allah's Apostle some of their milk, and he used to make us drink. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, I shall accept the invitation even if I were invited to a meal of a sheep's trotter, and I shall accept the gift even if it were an arm or a trotter of a sheep. Narrated Sal. The Prophet sent for a woman from the emigrants, and she had a slave who was a carpenter. The Prophet said to her, order your slave to prepare the wood pieces for the pulpit. So, she ordered her slave, who went and cut the wood from the tamarisk and prepared the pulpit for the Prophet. When he finished the pulpit, the woman informed the Prophet that it had been finished. The Prophet asked her to send that pulpit to him, so they brought it. The Prophet lifted it and placed it at the place in which you see now. Narrated Abdullah bin Abu Qatada al-Islami, that his father said, one day I was sitting with some of the Prophet's companions on the way to Mecca. Allah's Apostle was ahead of us. All of my companions were in a state of ihram while I was a non-muhrim. They saw an onager while I was busy repairing my shoes, so they did not tell me about it, but they wished I had seen it. By chance I looked up and saw it. So, I turned to the horse, saddled it and rode on it, forgetting to take the spear and the whip. I asked them if they could hand over to me the whip and the spear, but they said, no, by Allah, we shall not help you in that in any way. I became angry and got down from the horse, picked up both the things and rode the horse again. I attacked the onager and slaughtered it, and brought it, after it had been dead. They took it, cooked some of it, and started eating it, but they doubted whether it was allowed for them to eat it or not, as they were in the state of ihram. So, we proceeded, and I hid with me one of its 4 legs. When we met Allah's Apostle and asked him about the case, he asked, do you have a portion of it with you? I replied in the affirmative and gave him that fleshy foreleg which he ate completely while he was in the state of ihram. Narrated Anas. Once Allah's Apostle visited us in this house of ours and asked for something to drink. We milked one of our sheep and mixed it with water from this well of ours and gave it to him. Abu Bakr was sitting on his left side and Ammar in front of him and a Bedouin on his right side. When Allah's Apostle finished, Ammar said to Allah's Apostle, here is Abu Bakr. But Allah's Apostle gave the remaining milk to the Bedouin and said twice, there, persons on their right side. So, start from the right side. Anas added, it is a sunnah, the Prophet's traditions, and repeated it thrice. Narrated Anas, we chased a rabbit at Mar al-Zaran and the people ran after it but were exhausted. I overpowered and caught it, and gave it to Abu Talha, who slaughtered it and sent its hip or 2 thighs to Allah's Apostle. The narrator confirms that he sent 2 thighs. The Prophet accepted that. The sub-narrator asked Anas, did the Prophet eat from it? Anas replied, he ate from it. Narrated Asab bin Jath-Tama, an onager was presented to Allah's Apostle at the place called Al-Abwa or Wadn, but Allah's Apostle rejected it. When the Prophet noticed the signs of sorrow on the giver's face, he said, we have not rejected your gift, but we are in the state of ihram. That is, if we were not in a state of ihram, we would have accepted your gift. Fath al-Bari, page 130, volume 6. Narrated Aisha, the people used to look forward for the days of my, Aisha's, turn to send gifts to Allah's Apostle in order to please him. Narrated Said bin Jubair, Ibn Abbas said, Hufayd, Ibn Abbas's aunt sent some dried yogurt, butter-free, ghee, butter, and a mastigat to the Prophet as a gift. The Prophet ate the dried yogurt and butter but left the mastigar because he disliked it. Ibn Abbas said, the mastigar was eaten at the table of Allah's Apostle, and if it had been illegal to eat, it could not have been eaten at the table of Allah's Apostle. Narrated Abu Hurairah, whenever a meal was brought to Allah's Apostle, he would ask whether it was a gift or sadaqah, something given in charity. If he was told that it was sadaqah, he would tell his companions to eat it, but if it was a gift, he would hurry to share it with them. Narrated Anas bin Malik, some meat was brought to the Prophet and it was said that the meat had been given in charity to Barira. He said, "It was sadaqah for Barira but a gift for us." Narrated Aisha, "I intended to buy Barira but her masters stipulated that her wallah should be for them. When the Prophet was told about it, he said to me, buy and manumit her, as the wallah is for the liberator." Once Barira was given some meat, and the Prophet asked, "What is this?" I said, "It has been given to Barira in charity." He said, "It is sadaqah for her but a gift for us." Barira was given the option, to stay with her husband or to part with him. Abdurrahman, a sub-narrator, wondered, was her husband a slave or a free man? Shubba, another sub-narrator, said, I asked Abdurrahman whether her husband was a slave or a free man. He replied that he did not know whether he was a slave or a free man. Narrated Amatiyur, once the Prophet went to Aisha and asked her whether she had something to eat. She said that she had nothing except the mutton which Amatiyur had sent to Barira, in charity. The Prophet said that it had reached its destination, that is, it is no longer an object of charity. Narrated Aisha, the people used to send gifts to the Prophet on the day of my turn. Salama said, my companions, the wives of the Prophet other than Aisha, gathered and they complained about it. So I informed the Prophet about it on their behalf, but he remained silent. Narrated Awar from Aisha, the wives of Allah's Apostle were in two groups. One group consisted of Aisha, Hafsa, Safiya and Sauda, and the other group consisted of Salama and the other wives of Allah's Apostle. The Muslims knew that Allah's Apostle loved Aisha, so if any of them had a gift and wished to give to Allah's Apostle, he would delay it till Allah's Apostle had come to Aisha's home and then he would send his gift to Allah's Apostle in her home. The group of Salama discussed the matter together and decided that Salama should request Allah's Apostle to tell the people to send their gifts to him in whatever wife's house he was. Salama told Allah's Apostle of what they had said, but he did not reply. Then they, those wives, asked Salama about it. She said, he did not say anything to me. They asked her to talk to him again. She talked to him again when she met him on her day, but he gave no reply. When they asked her, she replied that he had given no reply. They said to her, talk to him till he gives you a reply. When it was her turn, she talked to him again. He then said to her, do not hurt me regarding Aisha, as the divine inspirations do not come to me on any of the beds except that of Aisha. On that Salama said, I repent to Allah for hurting you. Then the group of Salama called Fatima, the daughter of Allah's Apostle, and sent her to Allah's Apostle to say to him, your wives request to treat them and the daughter of Abu Bakr on equal terms. Then Fatima conveyed the message to him. The Prophet said, O my daughter, don't you love whom I love? She replied in the affirmative and returned and told them of the situation. They requested her to go to him again but she refused. They then sent Zainab bint Jahsh, who went to him and used harsh words saying, your wives request you to treat them and the daughter of Ibn Abu Quhafa on equal terms. On that she raised her voice and abused Aisha to her face so much so that Allah's Apostle looked at Aisha to see whether she would retort. Aisha started replying to Zainab till she silenced her. The Prophet then looked at Aisha and said, she is really the daughter of Abu Bakr. Narrated Azra bin Thabit al-Ansari, when I went to Thamama bin Abdullah, he gave me some perfume and said that Anas would not reject the gifts of perfume. Anas said, the Prophet used not to reject the gifts of perfume. Narrated Al-Miswar bin Makrama and Marwan, when the delegates of the tribe of Hawazin came to the Prophet, he stood up amongst the people, glorified and praised Allah as he deserved, and said, then after, your brethren have come to you with repentance and I see it logical to return to them their captives, so whoever amongst you likes to do that as a favor, then he can do it, and whoever of you like to stick to his share till we give him his right from the very first fai, war booty, 1, which Allah will bestow on us, then He can do so. The people replied, we do that, to return the captives, willingly as a favor for your sake. Narrated Aisha, Allah's apostles used to accept gifts and used to give something in return. Narrated an-Nu'man bin Bashir, that his father took him to Allah's apostle and said, I have given this son of mine a slave. The Prophet asked, have you given all your sons the like? He replied in the negative. The Prophet said, take back your gift then. Narrated Amir, I heard an-Nu'man bin Bashir on the pulpit saying, my father gave me a gift but Amr bint Rawaha, my mother, said that she would not agree to it unless he made Allah's apostle as a witness to it. So, my father went to Allah's apostle and said, I have given a gift to my son from Amr bint Rawaha, but she ordered me to make you as a witness to it, O Allah's apostle. Allah's apostle asked, have you given the like of it to every one of your sons? He replied in the negative. Allah's apostle said, be afraid of Allah, and be just to your children. My father then returned and took back his gift. Narrated as Zuhari, Ubaydullah bin Abdullah told me that Aisha had said, when the Prophet became sick and his condition became serious, he requested his wives to allow him to be treated in my house, and they allowed him. He came out leaning on two men while his feet were dragging on the ground. He was walking between Al-Abbas and another man. Ubaydullah said, when I informed Ibn Abbas of what Aisha had said, he asked me whether I knew who was the second man whom Aisha had not named. I replied in the negative. He said, he was Ali bin Abi Talib. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, one who takes back his gift, which he has already given, is like a dog that swallows its vomit. Narrated Isma, once I said, O Allah's apostle, I have no property except what has been given to me by Az-Zubair, that is her husband. May I give in charity? The Prophet said, give in charity and do not withhold it, otherwise Allah will withhold it back from you. Narrated Isma, Allah's apostle said, give in charity, and do not give reluctantly lest Allah should give you in a limited amount, and do not withhold your money lest Allah should withhold it from you. Narrated Qurib, the freed slave of Ibn Abbas, that Maymunah bint al-Harith told him that she manumitted a slave girl without taking the permission of the Prophet. On the day when it was her turn to be with the Prophet, she said, do you know, O Allah's apostle, that I have manumitted my slave girl? He said, have you really? She replied in the affirmative. He said, you would have got more reward if you had given her, that is the slave girl, to one of your maternal uncles. Narrated Aisha, whenever Allah's apostle wanted to go on a journey, he would draw lots as to which of his wives would accompany him. He would take her whose name came out. He used to fix for each of them a day and a night. But Sauda bint Zamaz gave up her turn, day and night to Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, in order to seek the pleasure of Allah's apostle, by that action. Narrated Aisha, I said, O Allah's apostle, I have two neighbors, which of them should I give a gift to? The Prophet said, give to the one whose door is nearer to you. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas, that he heard Asaba bin Jathama al-Thi, who was one of the companions of the Prophet, saying that he gave the meat of an onager to Allah's apostle while he was at a place called Al-Abwa or Wadn, and was in a state of ihram. The Prophet did not accept it. When the Prophet saw the signs of sorrow on Asab's face because of not accepting his present, he said to him, we are not returning your present, but we are in the state of ihram. See Hadith No. 747. Narrated Abu Humayd al-Sadi. The Prophet appointed a man from the tribe of Al-Azd, called Ibn Utbiyah, for collecting the Zakat. When he returned he said, this, that is the Zakat, is for you, and this has been given to me as a present. The Prophet said, why hadn't he stayed in his father's or mother's house to see whether he would be given presents or not? By him in whose hands my life is, whoever takes something from the resources of the Zakat, unlawfully, will be carrying it on his neck on the day of resurrection. If it be a camel, it will be grunting, if a cow, it will be mooing, and if a sheep, it will be bleating. The Prophet then raised his hands till we saw the whiteness of his armpits, and he said thrice, O Allah, haven't I conveyed your message to them? Narrated Jabir, the Prophet said to me, I will give you so much, The Prophet pointed thrice with his hands, when funds of Bahrain will come to me. But the Prophet died before the money reached him. When it came, Abu Bakr ordered an announcer to announce that whoever had a money claim on the Prophet or was promised to be given something, should come to Abu Bakr. I went to Abu Bakr and told him that the Prophet had promised to give me so much. On that Abu Bakr gave me 3 handfuls of money. Narrated Al-Miswar bin Makramah, Allah's apostle distributed some cloaks but did not give anything thereof to Makramah. Makramah said to me, O son, accompany me to Allah's apostle. When I went with him, he said, call him to me. I called him, that is the Prophet, for my father. He came out wearing one of those cloaks and said, we kept this cloak for you, Makramah. Makramah looked at the cloak and said, Makramah is pleased, or the Prophet said, is Makramah pleased? Narrated Abu Hurairah, a man came to Allah's apostle and said, I am ruined. The Prophet asked, what do you mean? He said, I had a sexual intercourse with my wife during Ramadan, while fasting. The Prophet asked him, can you manumit a slave? He replied in the negative. He then asked him, can you fast for 2 successive months continuously? He replied in the negative. The Prophet then asked him, can you feed 60 poor persons? He replied in the negative. In the meantime an Ansari came with a basket full of dates. The Prophet said to the man, take it and give it in charity, as an expiation of your sin. The man said, should I give it to some people who are poorer than we, O Allah's apostle? By him who has sent you with the truth, there is no family between Medina's 2 mountains poorer than we. Allah's apostle told him to take it and provide his family with it. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah, my father was martyred on the day of the battle of Uhud and his creditors demanded the debt back in a harsh manner. So I went to Allah's apostle and informed him of that. He asked them to accept the fruits of my garden and excuse my father, but they refused. So, Allah's apostle did not give them the fruits, nor did he cut them and distribute them among them, but said, I will come to you tomorrow morning. So, he came to us the next morning and walked about in between the date palms and invoked Allah to bless their fruits. I plucked the fruits and gave back all the rights of the creditors in full, and a lot of fruits were left for us. Then I went to Allah's apostle, who was sitting, and informed him about what happened. Allah's apostle told Ammar, who was sitting there, to listen to the story. Ammar said, don't we know that you are Allah's apostle? By Allah, you are Allah's apostle. Narrated Sal bin Sa'd, a drink, milk mixed with water, was brought to the Prophet who drank some of it while a boy was sitting on his right and old men on his left. The Prophet said to the boy, if you permit me, I'll give the rest of the drink to these old men first. The boy said, I will not give preference to anyone over me as regards my share from you, O Allah's apostle. The Prophet then put that container in the boy's hand. See Hadith number 541. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah, I sold a camel to the Prophet on one of the journeys. When we reached Medina, he ordered me to go to the mosque and offer 2 rakat. Then he weighed for me the price of the camel in gold, and gave an extra amount over it. A part of it remained with me till it was taken by the army of Sham on the day of Hara. Narrated Shul bin Sa'd, a drink of milk and water was brought to Allah's apostle while a boy was sitting on his right side and old men were sitting on his left side. He asked the boy, will you allow me to give it to these people? The boy said, no, by Allah, I will not allow anyone to take my right from you. Then the Prophet put the bowl in the boy's hand. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's apostle owed a man some debt, and that man demanded it very harshly. The companions of the Prophet wanted to harm him, but the Prophet said to them, leave him, as the creditor has the right to speak harshly. He then added, buy a camel of the same age and give it to him. They said, we cannot get except a camel of an older age than that of his. He said, buy it and give it to him, as the best amongst you is he who pays back his debt in the most handsome way. Narrated Marwan bin al-Hakam and al-Miswar bin Makramah, when the delegates of the tribe of Hawazin came to the Prophet they requested him to return their property and their captives. He said to them, "This concerns also other people along with me, as you see, and the best statement to me is the true one, so you may choose one of two alternatives, either the captives or the property, and I have not distributed the booty, for I have been waiting for you." When the Prophet had returned from Taif, he waited for them for more than 10 nights. When they came to know that the Prophet would not return except one of the two, they chose their captives. The Prophet then stood up amongst the Muslims, glorified and praised Allah as he deserved, and then said, "Then after, these brothers of yours have come to you with repentance, and I see it proper to return their captives, so whoever amongst you likes to do that as a favor, then he can do it, and whoever of you wants to stick to his share till we pay him from the very first fai, that is war booty, which Allah will give us, then he can do so." The people said, "We return the captives to them willingly as a favor, O Allah's Apostle." The Prophet said, "I do not know who of you has given his consent and who has not, so go back and your leaders may present your decision to me." The people went away, and their leaders discussed the matter with them, and then came to the Prophet to tell him that all of them had given their consent to return the captives willingly. As-Zun, the sub-narrator, said, "This is what we know about the captives of Huwazin." Narrated Ibn Abbas, that the people sitting with that person will be his co-owners. But this report is not confirmed by an authentic narration. Refer to Hadith 778. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet took a camel of special age from somebody on credit. Its owner came and demanded it back, harshly. The Prophet said, "No doubt, he who has a right can demand it." Then the Prophet gave him an older camel than his camel and said, "The best amongst you is he who repays his debts in the most handsome way." Narrated Ibn Umar, that he was in the company of the Prophet on a journey, riding a troublesome camel belonging to Umar. The camel used to go ahead of the Prophet, so Ibn Umar's father would say, "O Abdullah, no one should go ahead of the Prophet." The Prophet said to him, "Sell it to me." Umar said to the Prophet, "It is for you." So, he bought it and said, "O Abdullah, it is for you, and you can do with it what you like." Narrated Abdullah bin Umar, Umar bin al-Khattab saw a silken dress, cloak, being sold at the gate of the mosque and said, "O Allah's Apostle, would that you buy it and wear it on Fridays and when the delegates come to you." Allah's Apostle said, "This is worn by the one who will have no share in the hereafter." Later on some silk dresses were brought and Allah's Apostle sent one of them to Umar. Umar said, "How do you give me this to wear while you said what you said about the dress of Utarid?" Allah's Apostle said, "I have not given it to you to wear." So, Umar gave it to a pagan brother of his in Mecca. Narrated Ibn Umar, once the Prophet went to the house of Fatima but did not enter it. Ali came and she told him about that. When all asked the Prophet about it, he said, "I saw a multicolored, decorated curtain on her door. I am not interested in worldly things." Ali went to Fatima and told her about it. Fatima said, "I am ready to dispense with it in the way he suggests." The Prophet ordered her to send it to such and such needy people. Narrated Ali, the Prophet gave me a silken dress as a gift and I wore it. When I saw the signs of anger on his face, I cut it into pieces and distributed it among my wives. Narrated Anas, a jubba, that his cloak, made of thick silken cloth, was presented to the Prophet. The Prophet chose to forbid people to wear silk. So, the people were pleased to see it. The Prophet said, "By him in whose hands Muhammad's soul is, the handkerchiefs of Sa'd bin Mu'adh in paradise are better than this." Anas added, "The present was sent to the Prophet by Uqaida, a Christian, from Dorma." Narrated Anas bin Malik, a Jewess brought a poisoned, cooked, sheep for the Prophet who ate from it. She was brought to the Prophet and he was asked, "Shall we kill her?" He said, "No." I continued to see the effect of the poison on the palate of the mouth of Allah's Apostle. Narrated Abd-ur-Rahman bin Abu Bakr, we were 130 persons accompanying the Prophet who asked us whether any one of us had food. There was a man who had about a sa'ah of wheat which was mixed with water. Then a very tall pagan came driving sheep. The Prophet asked him, "Will you sell us a sheep, or give it as a present?" He said, I will sell you a sheep. The Prophet bought a sheep and it was slaughtered. The Prophet ordered that its liver and other abdominal organs be roasted. By Allah, the Prophet gave every person of the 130 a piece of that. He gave all those of them who were present, and kept the shares of those who were absent. The Prophet then put its meat in 2 huge basins and all them ate to their fill, and even then more food was left in the 2 basins which were carried on the camel, or said something like it. Narrated Ibn Ammar, Ammar saw a silken cloak over a man for sale and requested the Prophet to buy it in order to wear it on Fridays and while meeting delegates. The Prophet said, this is worn by the one who will have no share in the hereafter. Later on Allah's apostle got some silken cloaks similar to that one, and he sent one to Ammar. Ammar said to the Prophet, how can I wear it, while you said about it what you said? The Prophet said, I have not given it to you to wear, but to sell or to give to someone else. So, Ammar sent it to his brother at Mecca before he embraced Islam. Narrated Isma bint Abu Bakr, my mother came to me during the lifetime of Allah's apostle and she was a pagan. I said to Allah's apostle, seeking his verdict, my mother has come to me and she desires to receive reward from me, shall I keep good relations with her? The Prophet said, yes, keep good relation with her. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, he who takes back his present is like him who swallows his vomit. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, the bad example is not for us. He who takes back his present is like a dog that swallows back its vomit. Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab, I gave a horse in Allah's cause. The person to whom it was given, did not look after it. I intended to buy it from him, thinking that he would sell it cheap. When I asked the Prophet he said, don't buy it, even if he gives it to you for 1 dirham, as the person who takes back what he has given in charity, is like a dog that swallows back its vomit. Narrated Jabir, the Prophet gave the verdict that Umrah is for the one to whom it is presented. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, Umrah is permissible. Atta said, Jabir narrated the same to me from the Prophet. Narrated Anas, once the people of Medina were frightened, so the Prophet borrowed a horse from Abu Talha called Al-Mandab, and rode it. When he came back he said, we have not seen anything to be afraid of, but the horse was very fast, having an energy as inexhaustible as the water of the sea. Narrated Ayman, I went to Aisha and she was wearing a coarse dress costing 5 dirhams. Aisha said, look up and see my slave girl who refuses to wear it in the house, though during the lifetime of Allah's apostle I had a similar dress which no woman desiring to appear elegant, before her husband, failed to borrow from me. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's apostle said, what a good maniha, the she-camel which has recently given birth and which gives profuse milk, is, and, what a good maniha, the sheep which gives profuse milk, a bowl in the morning and another in the evening, is. Narrated Malik, maniha is a good deed of charity. Narrated Ibn Shihab az-Zuhri, Anas bin Malik said, when the emigrants came Medina, they had nothing whereas the Ansar had land and property. The Ansar gave them their land on condition that the emigrants would give them half the yearly yield and work on the land and provide the necessaries for cultivation. That is Anas's mother, who was also the mother of Abdullah bin Abu Talha, gave some date palms to Allah's apostle, who gave them to his freed slave girl, Maymun, who was also the mother of Usama bin Zaid. When the Prophet finished from the fighting against the people of Kaaba and returned to Medina, the emigrants returned to the Ansar the fruit gifts which the Ansar had given them. The Prophet also returned to Anas's mother the date palms. Allah's apostle gave Maymun other trees from his garden in lieu of the old gift. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr, that Allah's apostle said, there are 40 virtuous deeds and the best of them is the manihu of a she-goat. And anyone who does one of these virtuous deeds hoping for Allah's reward with firm confidence that he will get it, then Allah will make him enter paradise. Because of Husayn, a sub-narrator, said, we tried to count those good deeds below the maniha, we mentioned replying to the sneezer, removing harmful things from the road, etc., but we failed to count even 15. Narrated Jabir, Some men had superfluous land and they said that they would give it to others to cultivate on the condition that they would get 1/3 or 1/4 or 1/2 of its yield. The Prophet said, "Whoever has land should cultivate it himself or give it to his brother or keep it uncultivated." Narrated Abu said, a Bedouin came to the Prophet and asked him about emigration. The Prophet said to him, "May Allah be merciful to you. The matter of emigration is difficult. Have you got some camels?" He replied in the affirmative. The Prophet asked him, "Do you pay their zakat?" He replied in the affirmative. He asked, "Do you lend them so that their milk may be utilized by others?" The Bedouin said, "Yes." The Prophet asked, "Do you milk them on the day of watering them?" He replied, "Yes." The Prophet said, "Do good deeds beyond the merchants, or the sea, and Allah will never disregard any of your deeds." See Hadith number 260, Volume 5. Narrated to us, that he was told by the most learned one amongst them, that is Ibn Abbas, that the Prophet went towards some land which was flourishing with vegetation and asked to whom it belonged. He was told that such and such a person took it on rent. The Prophet said, "It would have been better for the owner if he had given it to him gratis rather than charging him a fixed rent." Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's apostle said, the Prophet Abraham migrated with Sarah. The people of the town where they migrated gave her a jar, that is Hajar. Sarah returned and said to Abraham, "Do you know that Allah has humiliated that pagan and he has given a slave girl for my service?" Narrated Umar bin al-Khattab, "Once I gave a horse for riding in Allah's cause. Later I saw it being sold. I asked Allah's apostle whether I could buy it. He said, 'Don't buy it, for you should not get back what you have given in charity.'